Have a look at this. India and Israel celebrated the 30th anniversary of full diplomatic ties last year, with the flag colors illuminating historic landmarks in both countries. Along with it, they presented a memorial symbol that combined the Ashoka Chakra and the Star of David to represent the two countries' deep affection and appreciation for one another. It doesn't end here. Look at this graph. When India and Israel started full diplomatic ties 30 years ago, they had $200 million trade, and now they are close to $8 billion. And this is without defense. It's good to see both are going well, but the question is, how did this remarkable relationship become so close? How is a unique partnership helping both countries tackling global challenges and drive progress? And most importantly, what are the opportunities and prospects for the future? Will they be able to balance same ties in future too? Hello and namaste everyone, I'm Shahana, back with another interesting video. Now let me start with this, how this remarkable relationship came about. Well, on 17 September 1950, India declared that it had recognized Israel. Shortly after that, Jewish agency opened an immigration office in Bombay. This was eventually transformed into a commerce office. Then in 1992, formal diplomatic ties were established, embassies were opened. But is it really that smooth from the beginning? Absolutely not. This was not the case. In fact, India's foreign policy stand was in favor of Palestinians for almost 4 decades because of its Arab allies. From the 1920s to the 1980s, India always publicly supported the Palestinian cause. Here I should tell you that till now, India had recognized his two major rivalries, Pakistan and China. But with Israel, with whom India did not had any bilateral clashes, it had not fully accepted for so long. But in 1990s, Cold War ended and a major shift began in global geopolitics. Here, two major changes happened in India and Israel relations. First one began in 1990 when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Now you might be thinking, how is it related to India-Israel relations? Well, here initially Arab allies supported Palestinians, but when Palestinians supported to Saddam Hussein Kuwait invasion, it upset the Arab world and it weakened. Now here, India had no chance of playing its Palestinian cards in Middle East countries, because why he should do when Arab world was betrayed by Palestinians. Meanwhile, India had no reason to not establish its full diplomatic ties with Israel. Second one is, in 1990s, India was facing severe economic and political instability, and at the international level, with the end of Cold War era, a new world order was taking place, where on one side USSR was disintegrated and US dominated world was emerging, which in its own way throwing a big challenge on the then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao. The challenge was Narasimha Rao has to convince the world that India is prepared to change its foreign policy as a result of acknowledging the end of Cold War. Interestingly, the result was such that Narasimha Rao made a swift move with respect to Israel. He discarded former PM Jawaharlal Nehru's 4-decade-old recognition without relation policy and established its full diplomatic relations with Israel on 29 January 1992. This move is considered to be the most crucial moment in India's post-Cold War foreign policy. Thereafter, on one side, newly found relations began their defense deals, cooperation in science and technology, and agriculture. While here India has to be cautious enough because of its long history of supporting Palestinian cause, relied on the Arab world for oil, and having Muslim population who favor Palestinians. According to experts, these balanced ties were called as parallel track. However, in the changing world order, India was trying to engage with both parties of conflict. So here it's not like India and Israel military cooperation was completely absent. Before 1992 also, Israel gave strong military assistance to India during its war against China in 1962, against Pakistan in 1965, 1971 and 1999 as well. Now the question is it going the same way like in 1990s in today's geopolitical era? How this unique partnership tackling global challenges and drive progress? So if you closely see this graph, you will figure out there has been drastic shift in economic partnerships. Bilateral trade increased and diversified from $900 million in 2000 to $7.86 billion in 2021. Furthermore, investments in startups and tech ecosystems have been quite significant. The total Israeli investments in Indian projects till 2021 have been valued at $270 million. Gradually, the cooperation between both nations started in other domains as well, from military cooperations to border management, avionics, missiles, anti-missiles, and radar and surveillance. Here you will be shocked to know that for some time Israel has also left behind Russia in the list of India's major arms supplier, whereas India import 45% from Russia, which was above 60% before, and 40% importing weapons from Israel. Data shows till now Israel's net worth of fully formed armaments and prime subsystems supplied to India since 1992 is estimated to be about $40 billion. State-of-the-art systems such as Barak-A surface-to-air missiles, Skystrike drones, and Trevor assault rifles are some of the products of the co-production and development initiative by two countries. Now, if you see politically, initially India was reluctant to host Israel, but in September 2003, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the first Prime Minister to roll out a historic red carpet for Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon in September 2003, and in 2004, Congress-led UPA government was forced to continue this course, but it failed. And in 2008, the Israel helped India to launch its spy satellite, and the relationship grew stronger thereafter. India and Israel cooperation extended in fields of agriculture, water management, recycling, infrastructure, etc. So as the time passes from 2004 to 2014, a non-parallel track was seen. On one side, it was strengthening its military and security ties, and on the other side, it was criticizing Israel on Palestinian human rights issue. Till now, India has not changed its traditional stand towards Palestinians. Interestingly, the major shift started in 2014 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi entered in power. He himself dehyphenated from traditional Palestinians angle and decided to conduct its foreign policy and visited Israel in 2017. Now, there might be a question inside you: what is the future of their relations, and will they manage to maintain the same relations in future? Well, since the establishment of official relations in 1992, and particularly during the 8 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's administration, the two nations have made significant progress. The present administration has worked hard to ensure that neither relationship has a veto over the other, while making other relationships direct and public and less related to one another. And a comprehensive free trade agreement that covers the trade in services would strengthen the economic ties going future. India may take advantage of Israeli technology in the water sector to create a centralized platform for water solutions that cover various locations, and the emphasis can turn to strengthening A2A collaboration through joint doctorate fellowships in the cybersecurity field, while encouraging a commercial sector to make a more active role in the partnership. And top of that, India's production-linked incentive scheme, which aims to reduce dependence on China, is expected to be advantageous for Tower Semiconductor's aspiration to establish chip-making factory there. Also, Israel and India could collaborate to create nano and radar-enabled satellite systems. There are now more possibilities for enhancing the partnership on a trilateral and plurilateral level thanks to Abraham Accords and the new I2U2 grouping. In order to deliver ambitious projects for food security and renewable energy to India, the first two I2U2 projects will combine US and Israeli technological platforms with funding from the UAE. These pilot projects' successful completion will pave the way for others in transportation, healthcare, and other sectors. As it enters into its fourth decade, a relationship described by a former Israeli PM, Benjamin Netanyahu, as a marriage made in heaven seems to be getting stronger with time. So this is it. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos on such topics. Thank you.